have him. He's the star of the show.
I know people love Space Marine, don't they?
With the cobweb one.
People love Space Marine. I have a new one though that Owen got me. This is a custom Hunter S. Thompson Lego figure.
That's very you.
Which is pretty fucking awesome.
That's the most Lego you I've ever
That's pretty
seen.
cool. That's what I was saying the other day when... Oh, not this again. There we go. When Owen was here, I was saying we need a desk cam. You know what I mean? We need one of those little, like...
Well, the 3D camera would fit, wouldn't it?
That's why it's in your mind.
No, we don't want one of those. Fucking hell. You're close enough to my teeth as it is.
The Turtles van's new.
Yes, the Turtle Vans Owens as well. You're very observant. What the fuck is going on?
I am relatively observant.
Have you not got some sponsorship stuff to
Yeah, I do, yeah. It's quite funny as well.
He's got one thing he has to do, you know what I mean?
I didn't actually know we'd started, but I thought we were just having a chit-chat. So,
that's what the show
hello
is.
everyone. Well, you haven't said hello, that's
Hello
why.
everybody. Welcome to the Outlawed Picks
bullshit.
podcast. That's you. That's you. That's your bad juju.
You haven't started your TV,
That's
right?
your bad juju.
You haven't intro.
Bad juju, bad picks.
Maybe we're just still tired from the ride. Hang on, what are you doing with the TV?
I'm doing nothing with the TV. I'm doing nothing with the TV. We need to order a new one of these cables, boys. I don't know what's going on here. It's not acceptable though. It's settled down after a while.
See what you did there? Basically made it your fault. Why haven't you ordered a cable?
I can't. I'm not teching everything.
Anyway, now you've done your intro. We are sponsored by MANSCAPED. Beautiful T-shirt you are wearing there. And Father's Day is coming up. What better way to celebrate Father's Day than to look him in the eye, give him a present, and suggest that he trims your original origin? You know what I'm saying? Here you go. I came from there. Make sure they're in good nick.
Yeah, that's a horrible idea.
I know.
My goodness.
But, it is Father's Day coming up.
Conversations over the dinner table that would.
But seriously, there are men of a certain age do have ear and nose hair
that
issues.
Is true.
They fight against.
That is true.
Around sort of 39ish kind of starts actually.
Yeah.
And part of the performance package is the weed whacker. You've
been using it, I see.
I've tried, yeah. It's very good.
Yeah.
9,000 RPM.
Yeah.
There you go.
How about that?
So if you would like to get on board and get your dad a weed whacker for Father's Day, I can't think of a better gift, to be honest.
I can't.
Drop on the website, enter Full Reptile at the checkout, and you'll get 20% and free shipping in the UK. There you go.
Is that right?
That is right. And we're always sponsored by XBrain. Big thanks to XBrain.
This is not even... I know I'm not... I know I needed a bigger bottle.
No, actually, it's like XBrain on it doesn't. Big thanks to XBrain. Very... we've got a very good relationship with them. They are sponsoring the gym at the minute and providing us with all the supplements we need to get our pro team humming and winning and ready to go. So thank you very much. If you guys would like to jump on board, drop Full Reptile in at the checkout and they get 10% off on all of their products. And don't forget they have Onnit products in there. They are the sole distributor for Onnit in the UK. So jump on board and get some of them.
He's on this shit, isn't he? You know, what if we went back to the first podcast and we cut in that intro and how you've improved over the years?
We didn't have a sponsor, did we?
I don't think so. No. You were making some shit up, though.
Probably.
You were taking payments from somebody. I know
probably
that.
Sponsored by us.
Nothing to do with me. This, I've just finished training, and this is water ice, bit of grapefruit juice, berries,
XBrain
collagen, and Onnit electrolytes.
Beautiful.
It is delicious.
Hydrated and ligaments and tendons all intact.
And nearly knocked it all over the gym floor a minute ago.
You really
trying
did,
to fucking backflip off the rig.
Yeah.
Like a 15-year-old.
Not great.
I forget.
Not great.
30, we're both 39
I know,
now.
so you can't give me shit anymore. Both 39.
I can. I mean, you're still 3 days older than me. 4 days. 3 days?
4 days. Yeah, we always say 3, but it's 4.
It's something like that, isn't it? Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's rough.
You're older.
We had good birthdays though, didn't we, mate?
We did.
Yeah,
we did. I've still got cake in the fridge.
Yeah, no, I eyed it on the way in, to be honest.
Yeah, it's time for me to get my diet together. Once the cake's gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's Tuesday, so you've got all the way to Monday before you start a diet. Perfect.
I can
Perfect
do 2-a-day
time to think
cakes and get through it,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Beautiful.
Deadlifting
No one starts
cake,
a diet
right?
on a Tuesday.
I mean, the cake is the best post-workout food as far as I understand.
Well, if you're going to eat it, then that's when you eat
That's
it.
the time to do it.
Directly after workout.
Okay.
Recap.
Go on then.
262.
I've got Kid Rock pulled up on my screen still. Joe C.
Oh, I thought you meant actually.
Sorry, it was a previous conversation with the Raptors earlier.
How did that come about?
We were talking about those two, that video that's going around Instagram.
I love it. I wish I had subtitles so we knew what they were saying to each other. You little motherfucker.
Yeah. Anyway.
Rylan was incredibly tiring, wasn't it? But it was good fun, and we always enjoy doing it.
We're gonna get the sleep and the balance and everything right at some point, but it was good.
I feel like I need a good 4 hours in that day.
Yeah, definitely.
Just when the birds start chirping, I'm just like. Ugh.
Well, Jimmy knew there was cake, so he was 4 hours early. You see, and that was where my 4 hours of sleep went. So,
to be honest, if we put Jimmy on the ride along, it probably would energise me because I'd be on alert the whole time, just in case I felt like he was getting one over.
Yeah, it'd be good to get his take on some stuff as well. He'd see some stuff.
Yeah, fucking good.
So, what do you want to talk about on the card? What stood out to you? I mean, obviously the main event we'll talk about.
Well, there was the weird knockout Shane Burgos.
Really
it's very strange. Did you see the doctor breakdown? Who sent me? Gary Hope sent it to me on Twitter. He's a friend of Full Reptile, isn't he? Friend of yours, friend of Full Reptile. Thank you, Gary. I watched it in a very tired state, and I can't quite remember the crux of it, but I think it was something to do with competing hemispheres in your brain and being a tough motherfucker like Shane Burgos is. And one hemisphere in the brain shutting down, the other one just taking a little bit of time to completely shut down, and that was the delay that made it look so strange.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I haven't really gone back into that and looked at that in depth, but I think it'd be an interesting thing to look at, wouldn't it?
Very interesting. You know, I mentioned it earlier before we started recording, but that Andrew Huberman podcast, the one I've just finished watching, he was talking about the effects of cold and cold therapy and all that kind of stuff. Where was I going with that?
Core. We talked about it before the podcast, about the core. I don't know how it relates to the brain.
No,
stuff,
that was it. That was what he was talking about. He was talking about people that do these like sub-Saharan marathons and that kind of stuff. There's a small percentage of the population that can basically push themselves past the point where their safety mechanisms would kick in and just stop them. Like people, like there are I can't. He gave a percentage. But there's a very small percentage of the population that can hold their breath until they pass out. Yeah. And most people would take a breath to save themselves from passing out. You know what I mean? Yeah. But what percentage of the population of those people fight in MMA? Because you've got to think it's a much higher percentage.
My friend's done the sub-Saharan desert, and he was always mad. Like always, no matter what context you're in, he was like, "You're mad.
Yeah,
you're right."
Yeah, you've got to think there's a higher percentage of those people on fighting in MMA.
He used to make us choking with a towel. Put a wrap of towel on, see how long he could stay before he passed out with two people pulling the towel. Anyway, that's enough about my private life.
This is a conversation with the podcast.
No, honestly, it wasn't like that.
It's not like that. Now you've said it. I mean,
maybe it was. I don't know. I was young. Try anything once.
It was for training. It was meant to be better.
Anyway, hopefully Shane Burgos is all good. He seemed to
he's been tweeting and stuff. It seems like
he seemed all good, but it wasn't very nice to watch, was it?
Really weird.
Not at all. Yeah.
Really weird. Just like I remember getting caught with a head kick once and having a conversation where I'm like, oh, I'm fine, and then before I knew it, I was down.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh no, I'm not fine. It was weird
at all.
But
yeah. I'm sure they looked after. I'm sure he has good medical insurance and what have you. That had done their diligence.
Yeah.
I thought Angela Lee was good. We chatted a little bit about her before, hadn't we? I thought she was very solid, and I really enjoyed the Lando Grundy fight.
Yeah.
It was close one, wasn't it? But
I did not enjoy watching Jacare get his arm snapped.
No, he didn't even flinch, did it?
No.
Didn't even flinch. Oh, that's a nasty break or dislocate. Was it a break or dislocation?
I think it was broken.
Oh.
I think it was broken. Did they? I'm sure I saw an X-ray of what he's had put in to kind of wrap around and hold it together.
Horrible.
Yeah, but he didn't. But it was the same as when Nogueira got his arm kimura by Frank Mir. But I remember, so I was standing on one side of the octagon facing into that way where Mystery's sitting filming us right now, and Frank Mir's family were over there, so I could see them in my eye line. And I could also see the cage. You know what I mean? And I remember watching it, and they were all cheering because they knew he got it, and all of a sudden you just saw it, and it just went snap.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I went, oh. I looked over at them and they all went, oh. It's just, you know what I mean? Because it was Nogueira as well.
I mean, you'd be a very good person to ask, but I wonder if that right at the edge of that range is so painful that when it breaks, the differential of pain is not too much. Do you know what I mean? From nothing to break is obviously a massive differential in where your pain goes to, but you're already in a ridiculous amount of pain anyway. Then the little bit over the edge, I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of that
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like
all your pain receptors are firing anyway, so the break bit of it is.
But like a Kimura position, like that one, like when I was stuck in that one against GSP, and he kept like wrenching it up my back, like it wasn't. I wasn't concerned about the joint at all because my shoulders are quite flexible anyway in that direction, but like the pain was more like a burning sensation of muscle or ligament being
snapping. Yeah.
So like as that's going on, I'm feeling it, and it's a burning pain, but it's not like it wasn't like a like a dislocation. Yeah, like a dislocation's a fucking horrible feeling.
Yeah,
it's just an unpleasant feeling. That toe came out yesterday at the gym, didn't it? Yeah,
not my toe.
No, not your toe. No.
It's my neck.
The big lads. But you did it to him, didn't you?
I did do it to him.
Yeah, because he was ragdolling you. I saw you had you in the schoolyard headlock.
Don't say that. That's not true. I remember that round. That's not true. Don't say that on camera. That's not true. Outweighed me by 40 kilos. How
defensive he gets, eh?
Because that was the only round I won that day. Oh. So I remember it. The rest of them...
own that shit.
Correct.
You gotta own that shit. Okay.
The rest of them you won more than correct.
Fair enough.
The Bronx smashed it, didn't
Looks
he?
amazing, yeah.
Amazing. He's a good dude, but I think Chandler is the champ if he doesn't make that one technical error, and that is this sport, man. It's that tiny technical error where he didn't disengage when he should have. He would be the champ.
Yeah,
he was Charles was all over the place, really, and it's just millimeters, isn't it? This game at championship level, it is millimeters.
Yeah. And if it's a millimeters, Charles Oliveira is the guy to make the most of those millimeters, which is what he did. I said to the BT guys, I was chatting with them yesterday, and I said, look, this is a trilogy match. Like they could go back and forth 3 times easily. Like that could be a storyline developing right now with Oliveira and Chandler. Yeah. Like even aside from McGregor and Poirier.
The UFC are like that with that as well. That's exactly the storyline they want in it.
And then you've got Beneil Dariush now that you can match with. I mean, I'd want to watch him fight Gaethje. I think that'd be a fun one.
I think that'd be great. It's rough.
I should have the rank.
I don't know where Tony. I don't know what you do or where Tony's at. Do you know what I mean? Like he's
telling you, man, welterweight.
Yeah.
He's got to go up to weight. He just didn't look good on the scales. He's got them knobbly, bony shoulders and make him look even worse. He looks kind of wizened. You know what I mean? Just fill out, man. Don't fuck
around then with all you we know how to train now. We know how to do it. Like it's not that complicated. We know how to put 95% of fighters follow this program, and you're gonna do pretty good.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around with float tanks on your shoulders and
there's a foundation of what you should be doing now to prepare for MMA.
And it's funny when he's winning. Yeah. You're like, oh, crazy Tony doing that crazy shit again. Yeah. He's winning, lighting everyone up. But now, I don't know. It could be coincidence, but something's taking its toll.
Yeah.
But the number of fights, then maybe it is time. I don't know.
Maybe. But I also just think. I mean, is he 37 now? Like he just doesn't belong in that weight class anymore. I just think he looks like he's draining himself.
Dariush looked a lot thicker than him.
Looks healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and this is the problem with 155 and 170, that 15-pound gap in the busiest area of the roster. Like really, I mean that's I'm not going to say it over and over, but like if there was a midway point, you'd think Dariush and Cowboy and RDA and all the guys that gather there before even making a step up to welterweight.
Yeah.
Make a lot of interesting fights. But, Tony might also be at that. I don't know where his mind's at. He didn't look like he was in a good place yesterday on social media, but then it seems like he's turned it around again today. So he might be very up and down, but I don't know whether,
this has never happened before.
At least it's not on anything electric.
Oh, dear. Don't cut that out.
We've got some kitchen towels in there, I think.
Wow.
No. Mate, or you can just sit in it now.
That's punishment. Sit there. Yeah. Is that on live as well? Oh. Flip the camera around so they can see what state you're in. Oh dear, never happened. It was just me and you, Bob. A lot of liquid being thrown around today. I don't know what's going on.
A lot of liquid being thrown around. I know. Yeah. What's going on today? Anyway,
good. Very good.
3 now.
Good card, weren't it?
Dariush is at 3. I've just refreshed the rankings.
Right, so a quick look.
So Oliveira at the top, Poirier, Gaethje, Dariush, Chandler, McGregor. He's down now. Chandler is number 4. He could have been champ. He's behind 3 other guys now. Yeah,
honestly, it amazes me the different the tactical difference and what the outcome of that is. Do you go this path or that path, and your life changes, isn't it? He'd be the champ now, making double his money.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's making pretty good money. And Uncle Dana seems
I bet he would have came over
seems to
from
love him,
Bellator
yeah.
on a decent whack because he was 18-5 there, champion, and
Still, there's no money like
legitimised
champ
himself.
money, is
No,
there?
Of course not.
No way.
Of course not. But like, if you look at that top 5 now, you could draw a line under McGregor, and you've got McGregor at 5 fighting Poirier at 1.
Yeah.
Gaethje's not matched, is he still?
Gaethje's not matched, no.
So you could give Chandler a bit of time off and put Dariush in there against Gaethje, and then you've got another top contender ready to go. And then, I mean, Chandler against the winner of Poirier and McGregor is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Every way you slice it.
Absolutely. And Islam Makhachev can't get fight. You see the fight? Who's he took?
Yeah, but
Moises.
But this is, I don't know, has he?
He's took someone, but it's like below him, and he's basically came out and said, no one above me wants it. They just, and I don't blame them, but at some stage they're going to have to do it.
Yeah, but then, like, you look at I saw a comment from DC on a podcast, and he was talking about who's been offered to him, and they went, well, he's been offered Felder and he's been offered RDA, and neither of them want. Like, of course they don't. Like, Felder's on the edge of retirement, turned into a triathlete, would come back for a big fight, which is it's what he wants, it's what the fans would want. But there's no point in throwing him in there against Makhachev and hoping that it's going to be
there's no point. It's not a win. It's not a win-win.
It's just to build a name. It's to and the same thing with RDA.
I suppose pretty much everyone else apart from Gaethje's matched up above it.
Yeah.
Dan Hooker's probably not going to take that off his last fight, is he?
No.
Oh no, is he matched up?
In fact, the guy is Gillespie. If anybody should take it, Gillespie should take it and make a point of beating him because of the wrestling, the credentials on either side. Because everyone that's afraid of Makhachev and nobody wants to fight him is because he's going to drown them like Khabib did. Yeah. And like they know that he's like maybe a more finer tuned version of Khabib coming through. It'd be a great fight. It'd be a great matchup.
Yeah.
But, I just Felder and RDA, they're also in that Tony Ferguson bracket where, they could be between 155 and 170. Like, get a 162 weight class in there, call it the veterans pool, and then you could put Tony in there, Cowboy. You've got a whole selection of guys.
A lot of fun to be had in that.
A lot of fun.
For sure.
And, you could step into there and have 2 fights, and if you feel like you're on point and you want to step back into the top 15, then, the UFC have got someone that's coming off 2 wins, that's a well-known person that you can match against one of the prospects.
I like it.
I don't make these decisions, though, unfortunately.
Dan Hardy for president.
What about
that? Good. Right. Moving on. Fight night.
Yes.
Funk Garbrandt. Start at the bottom. Do you want to go? Who are you going off?
Are you on Tapology or Wiki? Let's go on Tapology.
Is Ismagulov and Alves first? Is that what you got?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really fun place to start the card.
Well, we said before, innit, don't overlook this card because there's some, not necessarily big names, but some people that have matched it really, really well. And there's going to be some really good fights. Yeah. Really good fights.
Those first 4. First 5, Claudio Silva, Court McGee. We're kind of like those first 5 fights might steal the whole show.
Demir's tough, isn't he?
He's very, very good. 22-1.
Yeah, 14 on the bounce.
Yeah.
Very crisp. He's got quite a narrow stance, hasn't he? Got almost like a kickboxing stance.
Yeah. What's his background? What is it? Sander and kickboxing or something like that? Yeah. He's very good at range, and he's got a 6-inch reach advantage on his opponent. He's
got that almost. I don't think it's the technically the right name for it. It's almost like a side kick, where his back leg kicks like almost up, over, and then like chops down. Sometimes he lands it across the front of both legs at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, they've both got good kicks though. Like the point of difference is the reach, because I feel like Demir's better on the outside with his hands, and I would say that Alves has got a better kicking game, but he's like massively under reach. I mean, 6 inches. There's only a 1 inch difference in height.
Super aggressive, and he comes out fast and furious.
Yeah. But he's got to be in this one. And that long stance as well, he's going to work against Ismagulov because of those kicks that he throws.
Yeah.
Like, that was something that stood out to me in Alves' last fight. He's got real nice, fast combinations that finish with a low kick. I mean, he's living up to the name Alves, isn't it? Like Thiago.
Nice.
Like chopping into that
leg. They're a bit chalk and cheese, because like Demir is just a decision machine. Like, he's a decision after decision after decision, and Alves has gone all right. He's got a load of finishes on his record.
Yeah. It's very consistent though. Is Demir's game.
Well, I mean, I suppose with that many fights and taking them all to decisions, you've got so many octagon hours logged. Like, there is a benefit to that. I know, obviously, we're going out to finish fights, but there's a benefit to having that amount of time in the octagon and, you know, seeing everything you can see in terms of shapes and movements and different strategies. Yeah. But this will be fun. I feel like it's a bit power versus precision.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. There's definitely going to be some more power coming from Alves' side.
Yeah.
But that's why I think it's interesting, the fact that Demir's the longer reach, but he's more of a boxer, whereas Alves is the shorter reach, is more of a kicker. So they're kind of going to be standing in the same range, but one of them is going to be boxing while the other one's chopping his legs to pieces.
Yeah.
And I think probably their grappling is going to nullify one another. I don't expect Demir to level change unless he's getting lit up or his lead legs battered.
Yeah.
Like, imagine him getting that lead leg tenderized, level changed into a guillotine.
I don't remember. Remember him seeing him off both stances? Does he switch back
Demir?
out? Southpaw?
No, I don't remember. Let me see what it says on UFC stats.
I was just thinking, if he is getting that battered, can he switch and play off the other stance?
But then again, Alves can switch and fight off both stances. He tends to switch his stance to pressure or to power kick with his left leg. I mean, he's predominantly orthodox, but he does switch as well when he's walking people down. Like, sometimes if they skirt across, he'll just switch his stance, power kick, and then go back to orthodox.
Yeah, cool.
Let me just see.
I mean, I picked Demir. I think he might just be a little bit too good.
Both orthodox.
Bit too crisp.
See, this has got their reach as being only 2 inches different, but Tapology's got a massive difference. He's got Demir at 74 inches. Well, we'll see. We'll see what it says on the night.
Yeah, what do you think? I've got Demir to win, just close, but I think he's just too sharp, too precise.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. I think he could get beaten up. I think his legs could get beaten up pretty good, and I also think he could get hurt in this one. Might even have to defend a guillotine, but I mean, you know, look at the streak he's on and the consistency of his game, and you know, going 15 minutes every time gives you a lot of experience.
Doesn't it?
There's even another fight on his record where he stops the guy 13 seconds before the end of the fight to win the M1 belt. And that was 5 rounds.
I mean, tough promotion too. Like, if that's tough where you're getting blooded, like, you know you're a tough.
He was.
You're a rounded fighter by then.
Yeah, he was like, what was he then? He was like 18-1. Oh no, 15-1 when he fought for the M1 belt back in 2017.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a shark tank over there. It's a shark tank.
Yeah, they did. They came over here a few times, didn't they?
Yeah, tried to rent Nottingham Castle.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, they did it at Harvey. They did one at Harvey Haddon, didn't they?
That's
Jimmy wasn't on it, was he?
I don't remember.
Someone must have been on it.
Wayne Book was on it. I remember Wayne Book being on it.
Maybe we just went to watch. I can't remember.
Yeah, I was definitely there watching.
Yeah.
But the guy tried to rent Nottingham Castle to put the fighters in. And they were like, there's no plumbing or electricity in the upstairs. And he was like, well, okay, where's the nearest 5-star? And they rented out a 5-star hotel in a different city because there wasn't a...
It's like Russian money.
Was it? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine they would have made much.
No. 300 people there, I think.
Yeah. Probably not recorded, though. Probably 3,000 people recorded.
Maybe.
Yeah, I reckon Demir's a good shout. I mean, 22-1 against 19-9. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yancy Medeiros against Damir Hadzovic.
Yancy's been around, isn't he?
He has.
He has been around.
I do prefer him at lightweight, I'll be honest. I don't say that about many people are saying I prefer him at a lower weight, but I feel like Yancy looks better at lightweight.
He's long and lean, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a bit outpowered as well as a welterweight. Like when Cowboy fought him, that was a welterweight fight.
Yeah,
He just looks kind of gangly a bit.
Yeah.
I always remember him on chicken legs.
Right. I mean, he's had some good wins, like Matt Desi, Eric Silva, like they're good, solid wins. He got absolutely mauled by Gillespie, didn't he? But, Gillespie sort of did what he's renowned to be able to do and wrestled him to, shut him out almost completely, didn't he?
Yeah. This is a well-matched fight.
Yeah.
Demir's got a few losses on his record as well. He's at that point in his career where he needs to start building some consistency, especially in the lightweight division. He's coming off 2 losses, but it's not like... I mean, he lost a decision to Giagos, and then he's been choked by Moicano. But I'm high on Moicano anyway.
He just hasn't fought anywhere near the level that Yancey's fought, has he? In terms of opponent.
No.
Do you know what
I mean, he's fought good opponents. Like Marcin Held's good. Nick Hines, a very tough individual, good judo. Bodo Reyes is a good fighter as well.
Yeah.
But he kind of hit that ceiling at Yagos.
I kind of like him. He's tough as old boots, isn't he? But,
fun to watch. Really good. Yeah. He's much better than how he's performed. Like, I mean, he trains with Mads. He trains with Mads Bernal. He trains over at with the Arte Suave guys, doesn't he? I'm sure he does. Yeah, Arte Suave, and they've got some really good fighters and great coaches as well. I feel like when he's in there, he might kind of second guess his ability a bit, because like when you watch him hitting pads, like he's thunderous. Right. He is very good.
I mean, I half thought this was here for Yancey. You know what I mean? I thought this was a reasonably weighted fight that he should probably come out and win this, but the more I watched of Demir, he's tough. Yeah. He's super tough, hard to put away.
Yeah, he's got a lot more horsepower than we've seen as well.
Yeah,
and I've seen because I've seen Yancey on weak legs a couple of times and dropped and hurt. I can see if Demir performs up to standard, up to how he should, what he's capable of. I can see him kind of blasting Yancey Medeiros, like stopping him against the fence with a nice striking combination. I could definitely see that.
I'm a bit 50-50. Yeah. I mean, I thought Yancey might take this, but we'll see which Demir turns up.
Yeah.
See where he goes.
I mean, coming off 2 losses is always a rough place to be, but
yeah,
he's matched well. I think Yancey Medeiros, and he's coming off 3 losses as well.
Yeah, they're both.
But Vanderaa and Gillespie though, rough fights.
Yancey's last chance saloon, and you reckon off the back of 3?
Probably. Unless he moves up a weight class again.
Yeah.
The thing is with Yancey is
they know he's free card. Oh no, I'll go up.
Yeah. Heavyweight, no bother. Short notice,
keep me employed.
Yeah. He rolls a quarters to put in my pocket so I can make weight. I've seen that done before. Rolls of coins in pockets to make you heavier.
Joshua Culibao.
Yeah, and another good fighter.
Shah?
Didn't see too much of Shah, given the fact that the videos on YouTube look more like stop motion photography than actual video. Really difficult to watch.
I watched him get KO'd by Rong Zhu.
Yeah.
You watched that earlier, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Like I say, I don't know too much about him. Like I quite like Joshua. He came into UFC hot, didn't he, out of the Australian scene?
He did, but he came in on short notice.
Yeah.
And he was not in shape. He was talking about that in the interview. And it was like I felt like his last fight against Charles Jourdain was. I mean that was a really evenly matched fight for both of those guys. It was so close.
And if you look at Jourdain now, like that's a pretty good result for him, isn't it? Like Jourdain's a killer. I think the last time we talked about it, we were pretty high on him.
Yeah, definitely 2 of the prospects in the division to watch out for. And I think he's only just turned full time as well. I think after his UFC debut, I think he was like, right, if I'm going to do it, now's the time.
Because he's got some nice techniques, right? But he's not elite. He's not an elite striker. Like
I can't remember what his.
I know we've
what his coach's name was. He's
Volkanovski's camp, isn't he?
Yeah,
pretty sure he's Volkanovski's camp.
I think he trains there, but he's also got his own coach.
Okay.
I just can't think what the guy's name is now, but I think he was a K1 fighter, a kickboxer with maybe a karate background. But I mean, he's got good coaching. He's got people that are focused on him all the time, and I mean, he also came in a weight class up against Jalen Turner. He was just massively outsized.
Yeah.
No, he won a weight class up.
He's
it was. Sorry, he's a featherweight, isn't he? Yeah. No, he came in against Jalen Turner at 155, and Jalen Turner's like 6'4", isn't he? he was just undermatched.
Yeah.
Undersized.
Yeah, the reason I sort of alluded that I didn't feel like he was elite, it's something that you opened my eyes to about. He switches his stance, but it's not fluid in motion necessary for reasons. He's sort of just changing his foot position. Do you know what I mean? It's not entry, combination, switch stance to flow another combination off the back. It was just sort of an out stance, just switching stance, head not really coming off the midline, and then going back in. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, it's that journey of understanding, isn't it? It's like, okay, I know I need to do this, and then you understand you need to do it, and then you understand why you need to do it, and then you're doing it for a reason.
Yeah. No, I totally hear you. It's there's a lot of, I mean, and this you'll have watched MMA for long enough now to have seen it. Like, there's a lot of like mimicry in MMA. Like as soon as Anderson Silva knocked out Vitor Belfort with that front kick, all of a sudden everyone was throwing front
Which
kicks.
is great, which is a method of sort of like learning by osmosis. Like, you see it and you absorb it, and then you try it out and you play with it. But it's probably a longer journey to get to completely understand that skill by doing it like that, because you just start doing it and you have to learn when to use it and when not to use it. Whereas if it's taught in a syllabus, the underpinning understandings of it, then it's gonna come in quicker. Well, that's the part that people they see somebody do. Like, you see TJ Dillashaw switching stance every time he steps forward, and now everybody else starts doing it. But TJ knows why he's doing it, and he knows when to do it, and a lot of people are doing it now because they have seen other people do it, and it's easier to apply techniques. But when people start mimicking footwork and that kind of stuff, it can cause problems. It can get you in trouble. You can leave yourself vulnerable when you're not aware of it. But he's a young guy. I mean, he's only had a few fights, hasn't he? That's the thing. He's coming in against this guy who's got a lot of experience, 19-6. But then you don't know what kind of standard he's been fighting against. No. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think, like we both said, I don't know a lot about Shah. I felt like Culibao could pressure him and sort of get the win that way. He's got some, like we said, he's got some nice techniques. But having said that, I know so little about Yilan, and it's still a little bit in the balance, isn't it? I feel like Culibao is a good, solid young fighter coming through and learning his craft.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, I think he could probably take it. But Shah could probably surprise us. Yeah. Because losing to Rongzhu is losing to someone that is a pretty hot prospect coming out of China, isn't it? I know he didn't. He probably came out of his last fight with some credit. He didn't win it, did he?
He's coming on a 2-fight win streak.
No, Rongzhu.
Oh yeah, no, he's a talented fighter. He is. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like I don't know who. He's got a win over Alexei Olenek here, but I can't imagine that's the same guy, the heavyweight. Like a lot
at the fun fair.
Yeah, no. Like, I look down his record, and there are quite a few guys. There's another guy who's 26-12-2. I mean, I know it's not the best of records, but it's going to be someone that's got a lot of experience, knows how to. Yeah, and that was back at 10 fights ago. He might be very impressive. It was difficult to judge on the videos that I've seen because there was just such poor quality. And I do feel like Culibao, firstly, has been in the UFC. He's had a loss and a draw. He's due a win now, and I'm sure he's going to feel like that. Yeah. Because he's on that upward trajectory away from losing, isn't he? Draws next stage up. Yeah. Whereas this guy's coming in, it might be his first time in the US as well. It's something else you've got to consider.
Yeah, and like we said last time about the Performance Institute guys, I don't know whether he's got his coaches with him. I'm not sure how that visa situation, whether that sorted itself out, whether the restriction easing has changed anything. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Yeah, you watch. We're talking about this, and it'll be called off by the time the podcast goes up.
Of course,
he'll be denied a visa because of travel restrictions or something. So you're going with Culibao then, because,
I'm going to go
because Shah's probably not going to make it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, win by default. I'll take any win I can, honestly, on the picks.
Nice. Yeah, doing a terrible job. But, it's good because I can just blame it all on you then. And don't have to
when it's right, it was our choice. When it's wrong, it's my choice.
Of course, yeah. That's how
Makes
it works, right?
Complete sense. Rodriguez Silva, another one. Yeah. is gonna be a banger, in it. Victor lost bad to Yanez, didn't he?
He did.
He got caught with a nasty head kick. He was skirting the edge of the octagon, wasn't he?
And I think both of these guys have felt the same problems in the UFC of being too short for their opponent.
Right.
Yeah. Like that. Yanez is the guy that moves like Masvidal, isn't he? Yeah. He's very tall and rangy. And who was it that?
To be fair to Rodriguez, he took that on 11 days' notice, I think.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I know it wasn't the original opponent, but he was just like he just looked undersized. He just looked out of reach of his opponent, and once he started to get hurt, it was a downward spiral for him, wasn't it?
Yeah. They both like to throw hard.
Silva just got his first win in the UFC because he had
beat
a rough
JP
start
Buys,
as well.
didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember watching him against Dvorak, who's also on this card.
Yeah, he's on this card. I like him a lot. Yeah. I'll get to him.
It's not like he's not had difficult fights. Dvorak's good, and Ulanbekov's very good as well. 11-1.
Silva's out of Henry Cejudo's camp, right?
Yes.
So I mean, it's a good camp.
With those studded sunglasses.
Come out. Yeah, he's going to come out and be solid in most areas.
He's still more of a striker though. Generally, he still tends to spend more of his time at range. It should be a good scrap, this one. I mean, I'm not particularly invested either way. I'm not really that bothered how it turns out. I just expect these two to have
could be fun, couldn't it? Rather
fiery.
than too worried about the result.
Yeah, a bit fiery. I feel like Bruno Silva's, he's been in the UFC and he's had a win and a loss now, and he's felt both. And
I was going to pick Silva, but now it seems like you've swayed me. But I was going to go with Silva.
No, I'm not swaying you either direction. Like I said, I don't really have a pick on this.
No, it's tough to call him. Yeah,
I just think it's a roll of a dice kind of fight.
Yeah,
it's, it's the one who's got a bit more gas on the night. Is really how it feels.
Your boy's up next. Your boy Claudio Silva's up next.
Some of the wildest stories I've ever heard.
Yeah, I know.
On a UFC podcast. Crazy.
Yeah. No, Mystery, he did an awesome piece with Claudio Silva up on the channel, if anyone's not watched it. Very interesting guy. Completely different life to anything we would have even conceived of living.
Yeah.
But, yeah. He jumped in, didn't he, against James Krause, again off like 5, 6, 7 days notice or something crazy, and he took him to a decision, didn't he? He was losing pretty badly, but took him all the way to the decision.
It was. I actually thought it was competitive early.
Yeah.
I mean, James Krause was just played the range game better. He played the range game. He's like Claudio is he's a bit. Come on, let's have a fight, and not always great at instigating that himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sometimes he tries to. Try and prompt his opponent into a fight, and a smart guy is not going to engage him. You look at some of the wins on his record. I mean, he's got a win over Leon.
Yeah,
Nordine Taleb's a massive welterweight, and Claudio's always kind of undersized compared to his opponents. Like he's going to look small against Court McGee. Court McGee's another interesting individual though, because of his drug addiction, and then
absolutely,
like we were talking to him.
There,
it's amazing. Well, he's had surgeries now where he's not had any painkillers because of the opioids.
Oh,
opioid?
Opioids. Yeah.
So any surgeries that he has now, he has no.
Just because he doesn't want that in his body.
Yeah.
Wow, imagine that surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you remember how badly his nose got broken in his last fight against Condit.
That's horrendous.
Like
going back to that James Krause fight, I think I was probably reading into it, but it almost seemed like Krause had worked him out. He knew he was aggressive and coming forward, and he could read it quite easy. And he was almost like live practicing his counter work. And I'm not sure. Maybe I'm reading into that. I'm not sure he would take that into an actual fight. Oh, I seem to have figured him out. I'm just going to practice this now.
Yeah, but
he was catching him so many times. Yeah, all the time. And the check left hook. I think coming over as he sort of wailed in with his right hand. I felt like he was picking him apart. I know early on it seemed quite level, but I felt like Krause was picking him apart after a little bit.
Yeah.
Court's in a bad spot though, isn't he? He's lost 7 out of the last 10 fights.
Yeah.
But I do feel like he's sort of earned as much credit as you can earn, sort of thing. Like he's been in and around for a long time.
I mean, the thing is that Condit fight was the perfect matchup for him, and it was a competitive fight. It just, Condit was just an edge better, but he's kind of in that class of fighters now. Whereas I don't feel like Claudio Silva is. Like I feel like Claudio Silva's on an upward trajectory, even though he lost that last fight against Krause. Like you look at the people that he's already got on his record. Like I know it's a split decision, but he's got a win over Leon.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah. Like, and
I double checked that when I first saw that. I was like, "What? Really? Oh right, shit, okay."
And like you look at the people on the outside of the UFC as well. Like he's got a win over Xavier Fupapokum, who was a really good kickboxer, and like a lot of guys that would have been bigger than him.
Yeah.
He fought Paul Jenkins. He fought Matt Thorpe in his first fight. He got 2 common opponents there.
He's got some good grappling. He's got some very, very good grappling, and I think that might be his route to victory here. I think he might clip Court,
hurt him,
take him down, maybe choke him out.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. It's a rough one for Court. I would like to see him being matched a bit better than this.
Yeah,
because I just like this is Claudio's looking at the top 10. Court's looking at having a couple of fun
hanging
fights.
on.
Not even, is he? I mean, he's Yeah, I just see this as being a win for Claudio as long as he's trained and he's conditioned. That's the only thing that sometimes struggles is the consistency of his training camp. Like when he was at ATT, he was living at ATT. He was just focused 100%. But then I think obviously with
it's just everything in it.
Everything, travel restrictions and stuff. I don't know where he'd been training or anything. So preparation. Because even if Court McGee's got a pair of running shoes and
he'd find a way.
He'd tape his flip flops onto his feet to go and do a run and get preparation.
I mean, we've talked about it a bit, but the idea of resilience across everything you have to do as an athlete. If the bus breaks down, I don't care. I'll walk to the arena, I'll fight. It's not going to affect my performance. My performance is going to be my performance. It's going to be as good as I can put out there.
Yep.
Everything else is arbitrary. I don't care. Just get me there. I'm going to do it. We can't. It folds back to the discussion about performance centres and providing everything for athletes and just because the argument is provide everything for the athletes. All they have to think about is performance.
Yeah.
But my argument is you provide everything for them and then they become dependent on you. Yeah. And then one thing falls out and suddenly they're like, my preparation isn't right. Yeah. And we need to be resilient enough that irrelevant what happens, we're on all the time.
Yeah. So that there was never a perfect training camp and never a perfect arrival. And if I got to the end of a training camp and everything had gone fine, I'd be a bit uncomfortable. If
you went through everything in that GSP camp that you had to go through, they wouldn't believe you. They wouldn't, would you? There's just no way. You're like, for a title fight? Yeah. No idea. No idea. No. There you go. It's what it is. Resilient.
Yeah. But that's the thing. But then, I was thinking about this, and we chatted about it the other week with the guys on the card from the Performance Institute, and obviously, our good friend Dean's over there doing amazing things. But those fighters couldn't ask for anything more than what they've got. Way. Like the food is amazing.
No way.
Like the coaching's amazing. The recovery is amazing. Everything is so finely tuned. Yeah. I got a plan through to my phone the other day for Adam, Dean's brother, who's fighting coming up, and his plan's laid out. I'm like, shit, this is high level. Yeah. High level. It's beautiful to see.
It's the same level as you'd expect in the NFL, the NBA, the MLB.
All of them. All the letters.
That's the level.
All the letters. Yeah. The FBI, CIA, MI5. But then my question comes off the back of that. A lot of those fighters came through the kind of the underground grassroots MMA scene in China, where none of us are watching. We don't know, but they're having hard fights. I mean, what was that girl with the slick grappling? Who's she had 20 fights or something already. She had a lot of experience. There were a few of them coming over. There were
on the last card.
Yeah. Do you remember? But there were a handful of them, and they got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
But then you take them from what those training camps must have been when they were there, and then you move them to the Performance Institute and just give them everything. Is there a risk that they now feel they've made it? And they just
a little bit of hunger.
I had a friend of mine who, as soon as he signed with the UFC, started living on a boat in San Diego, and it was walking around with unbuttoned shirts on all day. It's like, all right, dude, hang on, let's.
It's hot in San Diego.
Let's get some wins. Yeah, but
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? It's sometimes you can feel like you've arrived before you have.
Me and Dean have actually spoken about it, and one of the things in the new journal that's come out is they do address that at least that concept of providing everything, and still, this is a gladiatorial sport, and there's the reason the gladiators lived how they lived. Do you know what I mean? You need to keep that hunger to some degree, and it's something they're thinking about. I know. But this is what we do, right? Is we take it right to the extreme.
It's finding that balance, isn't it?
And then you'll find something. Yeah. Like we talk about health sesh. Do you know what I mean? That health sesh at our gym is miserable, and there's no sports science behind it. And if you brought sports science in, they'd hate it, and they'd tell you you're doing this and this wrong and whatever you bought. It's a necessary part of it.
Yeah.
And even when I was working with head coaches in team sports, we had the big red button concept in that the load is all planned. If he feels like he wants to hit the button,
like a heat button,
like a heat button, If he wants to hit the button, then he hits the button, and it all goes out the window, and we stay there till we get it right, because it's almost like a principle.
Yeah,
it's like we're not going till we get this right. Yeah, get it right.
Yeah.
I
think we're finding that balance, and if you think of where MMA was 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and like watch what those, like, you can go back and you can find that stuff. Like I've got DVDs of things like Rites of Passage and like the old like 7,000 feet elevation, which is Tito's thing, and like they're doing mad shit. They're just doing mad shit. Like people.
Let's say you find out what works, and you just try everything, and something will stick.
Yeah, but like Jimmy and I were talking about it the other day about our old Thai boxing sessions, and Owen Comrie, who's an amazing Thai boxing coach and a great fighter, but like those sessions. From Owen's generation of sessions, like I'd get to the gym 3 hours early. The first thing I'd do is I would pull him on his BMX for about 4 miles around the River Trent, around the embankment, just running with him sitting on his BMX behind me, just so his weight, and he's like keeps braking and fucking with me. Then we go back and we do an hour-long circuit of dumbbells, and then we go in and do 2 hours of bag work and then body spar. Like it was like a 4 or 5 hour block.
It's like I get it. Like I could make an argument that there was some problems with that, but it's that general preparedness. It's just a foundational stuff that it's a foundation.
That was a psychological preparedness,
and the psychological effects of it.
That was the thing for me. But then
miserable.
But it's getting the balance though. It's getting the balance between that and then being too looked after scientifically and pampered and recovered and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like that I had to find that balance. Mine was a bit too far down that end of the spectrum. Yeah. You know, like arriving at the gym and eating a malt loaf and a half a pint of just to get calories in me because I knew what was coming. It was just like I need calories, I need something, and it was gone in a second.
Like when we first started working together, and the rest of the Roughhouse crew, the program management, although it was really difficult because of the way we're set up, I feel like weights is weights, strength is strength. Do you know what I mean? It's not that difficult, but just planning I felt like made more difference than anything else. In just
massively,
you can't go all out all the time until you get ill and then have 3 days off and go again. We can't do that.
Yeah, and just tape every injury.
Yeah, and now if people drop into Hardy Warlord and watch, there are some very, very, very brutal sessions that go on, but they don't go back to back, and there's always time in between, and it's very rarely are they red brutal more than once a week.
We had a rough one in there the other week, didn't we?
We've got one tomorrow. It'd be fun.
I'm looking forward.
It'd be fun to
it.
watch.
Yeah, I'll be there. It'd
be fun to watch from the side.
I'll be there with my socks on and my hoodie on the side.
Yeah, my neck always doesn't feel quite right around Wednesday.
Coffee. I'm liking this. I'm liking this coaching phase of life.
How good. Big Ben Rothwell.
And
very interesting opponent.
Did you go Claudio?
Claudio, yeah. Okay, I think Claudio. Clip him, drop him, take his back, choke him out.
There we go. That's the game plan.
Here we go. Easy.
Simple as that. Just shout that as loud as you can at the TV and hope he hears
Drop him!
Clip him, drop him. Knees!
Beautiful.
Big Ben Rothwell against Chris Barnett.
I feel like we spoke about Ben Rothwell on five different podcasts.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on this card though that have had cancelled fights recently.
Yeah, Allegro and Ramos. I'm pretty sure that's a
Linz
direct
withdrew. He was supposed to fight against another dude that had visa issues.
So Chris Barnett is the out of shape, crazy spin kick taekwondo guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Interesting. I've written mad fat guy with spinning attacks.
Well, there you go.
I've also written taekwondo, D-O-U-G-H, because he's a bit doughy. I knew you'd appreciate that.
That's good. I like a play on words.
Taekwondo-y.
Mate, that's good. That's a nickname. That's a nickname in itself right there.
Isn't it?
Taekwondo.
To be honest, I've not seen a massive amount of him. I checked him out last night.
No.
Yeah, and I've seen some Instagram stuff. In fact, I think V sent me an Instagram of him the other day. I don't know if that's coincidentally or you guys have been watching him or not, but he's got some crazy movement skill and ability to throw sort of spinning stuff so much so that you wouldn't expect from a guy his size.
Yeah. I
mean, I don't know if he's always been that size or he accumulated all those skills and then got out of shape. I'm not sure which, but I think he's got his guys' work cut out against the wily veteran.
Yeah. Did you see his celebration after he won in UAE Warriors?
No.
I'm just gonna play you this.
I'm sure it's
You'll have to record this and drop it in so people can see what we're watching.
Oh wow. I mean, it is incredibly hard. I love it. Incredibly hard not to like, isn't it?
You've got the two. I'll turn it around so you can see it. You've got the two fucking weirdest heavyweights on the roster, shall we say? Because there's some weird guys on the UFC roster. Check this out. that recording? We're all good. Little breakdance. Dun, 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 dun. Wait for it. Yoga pose. Brilliant. I kind of just want him to win so I can see that. Oh, he's having another dance. He's still going. Still dancing.
It's so hard not to like. I really feel like he's got his work cut out though against Ben. Like, Ben just knows his game. He's settled on his game. He's been around forever. In it.
Forever. Yeah. Remember IFL? Would you remember that back in the day?
Yeah, 100%.
I remember watching it.
I actually really enjoyed it. It was a great concept.
Well, he was Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Ben Rothwell. So I
still like that concept now. I think that'll be wicked.
Teams?
Yeah, teams.
Yeah, it kind of works. I mean, you have to have a pool of fighters in each one. I mean, it's kind of what IMAF is, I suppose, but they've not got fancy names like Silverbacks or Wolfpack.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of the merch. You know what I mean? It was kind of cool.
Yeah,
I suppose Polaris are doing it. Polaris are doing team on team, aren't they?
Yeah. And Quintet as well.
Yeah. And City on City, I think they're thinking about doing
it.
City on City.
Oh, that'd be... You have to watch what cities you pick. It'll turn into knife crime.
All around here.
Got blood on the mats again. Fuck. 38-13, Ben Rothwell.
Yeah.
One of the most skilled and easy to underestimate guys on the roster. But then I would probably say this about Chris Barnett as well, but less people know about him. Like, you look at some of the wins on Rothwell's record and you just think to yourself, the way to beat him is to do what JDS did to him and just to stay just outside of his reach, because he's not the most athletic guy covering distance. So if Barnett can use some of that footwork in and out, some of that Taekwondo, WGH, if you can use some of that in and out and force Ben Rothwell to just keep following him, he might be able to keep catching him and countering him, and his body's very square as well. So like any kind of body kicks, especially straight attacks. And Chris has got that kickboxing background, hasn't he, as well?
I mean, he's a good fighter. He's an exciting fighter. He definitely brings some X factor that Ben doesn't necessarily bring. X factor, does he? He just brings a well rehearsed, solid game that he knows really, really well.
Yeah, and he's also a heavyweight who's not 5'9".
Yeah.
Which doesn't work out in your advantage. Let's have a look at UFC stats. They've added a couple of inches to his height. No, he's not. He's 5'9". 6'4", 5'9". Only a 4-inch reach advantage for Rothwell, though. And given the fact that he stands kind of high, it might not really work out for him too much. It'll be fun to watch, won't it? Is this just because they can't get Ben Rothwell a fight that won't fall through?
I was surprised when I saw it. I didn't even... He's on... Chris on debut.
Yeah. He's on a 6-fight win streak.
Yeah.
But then he's including his kickboxing as well. Oh, no. He lost to Yoel Romero by Kimura in a grappling bout.
Yeah, bet that hurt.
I bet it did. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Ben's got that.
Yeah. It'd be weird to pick against him, to be honest. Especially with the experience and the credentials that he's got. Okay.
So remade Allegro and Ramos.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Allegro reminds me of Sandhagen, the way that he kind of stands and hangs.
Yeah.
There's a few fighters on this card. There's another one that's going to come up and you're going to say the same thing, aren't you?
I am, yeah. Very much so.
Very much like kind of a mimicking style.
Yeah.
You can see the influences and other fighters in their style. But then we were watching Edmund Shabazyan earlier and Mystery went, he looks like Jack Shaw, and now I can't see a middleweight Jack Shaw when I'm watching him now. So my mind's broken. Okay.
Yeah, he's very fluid and relaxed, isn't he?
Yeah.
I thought he dealt with Spike Carlisle really well. Like, it was a tough match.
It was, especially with the pressure that guy looks like a powerhouse anyway. And he was doing a lot of good stuff like fighting hands, breaking grips, digging for underhooks. Because although he's tall and he does give up underhooks a lot because he's quite skinny, there's often a little space. Channel that he can get under a rib and into and get his underhook back. Good scrambles. A couple of things he did that were a bit risky though. Like he went for that hip throw, do you remember? And ended up in that headlock.
Right.
And I thought that position you were caught in sparring yesterday.
Nah.
Remember it?
No.
Of course you don't. It almost choked out. That's why I remember.
No, the Mr. Fatigue was so deep. I can't remember.
That's why you reached down
on.
and dislocated his tongue. Motherfucker. Guillotining me. We got cameras in the gym.
What did I get caught in?
You see, I don't remember.
Tell me again, because I think you're making it up.
I'm not making it up. We've got security cameras now.
I got caught in a lot of things, so maybe that's the problem.
No, he had you in like a schoolyard headlock up against the wall, and he was leaning into you, and he's got like a £50 weight advantage on you.
Who are you talking? No way. That never happened. I'd have definitely peeled out the back of that. 100%. I know I know who you're talking about. If you say £40 weight advantage.
Yeah. Well, it's probably a lot more now. You're a skinny boy, isn't it?
No, I'm coming back. Leave me alone. I'm coming back.
He is coming back. He had a good sweat on at the gym the other day.
Yeah. I did.
Getting beat by all those kids. I'm glad I'm not on the mat with them.
It's rough, man. It's rough. It's rough out there.
Yeah, it is.
It takes
rough
days to recover from as well.
It is rough
this age.
It does for you. They're all right to go in the
afternoon. They'll be fine. They're going again tomorrow. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ricardo... Oh, boys, you did a really nice piece on Ricardo Ramos, didn't you? Up on the channel again. Yeah, check it out if you haven't seen it. It's very cool. I think he might be a bit of a different problem for Allegro, though. He's very, very fluid, got a really solid kicking game, isn't he? Mm-hmm. I like him. I think he might go all right here.
So do you think more of a fundamental striking game, more disciplined, more traditional over the volume and the modernised style?
From Allegro? Yeah. I just think Ramos is a touch better than him. Probably all over. Mm-hmm. A touch more fluid, moves better, got real nice control, real nice ring craft. But again, it's relatively close, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only thing, and we said this last time, I think, is once or twice I've seen Ramos throw a couple of things in a row and invited himself to get caught. Like he did a couple of spinning attacks. He did one, and then he's like, "Oh, that sort of looked good," and did it again, and then got caught, and then put on his back or.
It's always the risk, falling in love with the way you look. I mean, Allegro does a lot of that kind of risky stuff as well. I mean, the risk factor might cancel each other out. They might both put themselves in equally bad positions, and we might get the two squirrels chasing after a nut kind of fight. little tussle.
Yeah, I think I'll go Ramos just. We'll see.
Just.
Not that it makes a difference whether it's close or not, but
Yeah, I love it. This is something to think about, which most people wouldn't ever think about, and I do hear this prediction often. But people predicting a split decision.
Oh wow!
Like if you predict a split decision, like it's saying you predict it to be a close fight. I understand, but like you're predicting one of the judges to score.
You can't predict these judges.
It's weird, isn't it?
You can't predict these judges at all. No one. That is fundamentally impossible to predict these judges.
For sure. Yeah, not the other night. There were a couple of weird ones.
Innit? Good luck. There's too many variables going on there for a prediction.
I think some judges are going off the old unified rules. Some are going off the new unified rules.
Some think they're watching boxing.
Some think they're watching boxing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
No way.
Some got lost on the way to a snooker tournament.
So this next one seems a long way down the card. For quite a big fight.
Yes, it does, and it was already moved as well, wasn't it? Wasn't it on last? Was it
last week, and then it moved. Yeah,
but it wasn't high up on the other card either.
No, why is that?
I don't know whether. I don't know. I'm not sure whether it's placement on the card because it's going to get a lot of views on a certain channel. Like you'll see sometimes the UFC will do that. Like they'll stack a card, so like there'll be an early prelims main event, a prelims main event, and then
Shabazyan is.
But this is on
US
the main
based,
card.
right?
Yeah, he's California, isn't he?
Yeah.
Both coming off a loss.
Yeah, I thought the way that Cannonier beat Hermanson made me think that Shabazyan could beat Hermanson. Mm-hmm. Not that I don't think Jack is a very solid, very well-rounded fighter. I really do think he is. Some of his stuff I think is close to top end.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of things. The way Cannonier took his time a little bit, picked him apart, picked his shots when they were standing, made me think that Shabazyan has that in him. Like he's quite clinical. And he's straight punching, moves in and out quite well.
The difference was, sorry to interrupt you.
Go on.
Cannonier is a powerhouse with good takedown defense.
Yeah, he's a powerhouse, isn't he?
And like Jack Hermanson, although it is self-proclaimed, has the best ground and pound in MMA. He's up there with them as far as ground and pound goes. Like you watch what he did to Mershaw.
Yeah.
Like literally just ironed him into the canvas with pressure and ground and pound.
Him, yeah.
And what Derek Brunson did to
that's exactly my next point.
That's my concern. Is like I can although you've just said exactly what Cannonier did to Hermanson, I can see Shabazyan doing that to him.
Exactly my next point. That is the route to winning it, isn't it? If I'm Jack Hermanson, I'm like, right, thank you. That is exactly the blueprint I needed.
Close him down, beat him up, drag him to the floor, Jack Hermanson's got that Joker team attack as well.
Yeah.
So if he's able to, and we were just talking about foot sweeps the other day and how useful they are to like off balancing people. Like who was it that Hermanson fought where he hit that foot sweep twice in a row? It was David Branch.
Right.
Went for the foot sweep, balanced himself out, and then hit it a second time and was able to take him down. He also is very good at getting behind the body, like shelving the legs to. I think Hermanson's going to be able to take him down and maul him.
Any technique
Shabazyan's
that's
good if he's
weightless
got
is the most fun technique.
Exactly.
It's just like when it hits, you're just like
It's like that sprawl defense.
All.
Do you see that sprawl defense that you guys were doing yesterday?
Yeah.
Like, you shoot in the person sprawls and it's just the bridge over the back.
Oh, yeah.
Just effortless, beautiful work.
It's a bit like judo, isn't it? Like a lot of judo throws are based on their weight rather than your power.
Yeah. A bit of Aikido, same thing.
Fucking Shabazyan was born in 1997, bro.
Is that right? Yeah.
I was drinking 2020 on the bench in 1997. I mean, we'd graduated to 2020 by then.
Your eyesight was no longer 2020
No,
by
no,
1997
after
because of all the 2020. Funny, it was called 2020 and it does nothing for your vision.
Not at all.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't get into that too much.
Yeah, so saying that, I think Hermanson is, he's too good. He's too good at the thing that is the kryptonite of Shabazyan.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes.
I can see it the other way in that Shabazyan can pick him apart because I do think he's one of the better strikers and I like what he's got, but the blueprint's there and Jack's very good at that.
Yeah. And, like people were celebrating Shabazyan because he was undefeated 11 fights in a row, fighting out at Glendale Fight Club, which obviously that's Ronda's old gym, isn't it?
Yeah. Ronda's his agent.
That's the head movement gym. Is that right?
Yeah.
See, like people were like they were expecting big things out of him because he was a first round finisher. He was running through guys. I mean, it's only Darren Stewart that took him to a decision in the UFC. First round ground and pound, 40 seconds, 38 seconds elbow and punches, minute 12. 237 against Brad Tavares, who's another tough guy. I mean, there's a serious risk of him blasting Hermanson in the first round. Because Hermanson's not in a great place psychologically, perhaps. Like, he was on his way to a title shot before he ran into Cannonier.
Yeah, it derailed.
But then that lovely heel hook against Gastelum. I could also see him subbing Shabazyan.
Very true.
I am a fan of Hermanson though, and I do think his ground and pound is some of the best in the UFC, and he's aggressive with it as well. Like, it wouldn't take him 3 rounds to eat up Shabazyan if he has him in positions where Brunson did.
And you know what? After what happened to Shabazyan, like maybe that with Derek, maybe that's in there. Do you know what I mean? He's like, oh shit, I'm stuck in this cycle again. I know what this finish is.
Striking game as well.
Yeah.
Are you quite as loose and aggressive?
No way.
We'll see.
Yeah,
he's a good talent.
I think Jack will get that.
He might need to maybe just get pulled back a bit.
He's just young, man.
Out of that top tier.
It's half and half though. Like I like the UFC they don't really protect people, do they? Like if you get on a couple of good wins, you get thrown up there quite fast.
Yeah.
Unlike boxing, when they sort of build you, but there's something in that as well. Not burning out too quick.
Yeah, you need the lessons. You don't need the damage.
Yeah.
And that kind of. Is he? No. He can come out next round. He's fine. Yeah. Dust yourself off, kid.
What's the easiest decision here? End of the round. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that.
Magic, you're fine for the next round. Maybe that's what he's doing.
Are you
okay? How many fingers am I holding up? He's fine to continue.
Yeah. No
He's still got a leg.
Gold standard.
No, you've got to drop the G now. It's just old
standard. Oh, no, there you go. I like David Dvorak.
Mate, I like both of these guys. Again, another really well-matched fight. I mean, almost identical records. Dvorak made his... did he make his debut in Brasilia? That first event with... No, he did. Against Bruno Silva. Yeah, that's where I saw them both. Yeah, because Bruno Silva had a manky ringworm mark on his back leg.
And they let you fight with that?
Mate, honestly, I said to the doctor who was standing next to me as he was walking up to face off, I'm like, he's got ringworm on his back leg. And he went, I'll have a look. And he came back to me a bit later and he was like, it's a cupping mark.
Cupping marks?
Nonsense.
Why would you use a cup?
Exactly.
Ringworm's about that
exactly.
big. Why would you use a cup?
Thimble.
What are you cupping? Yeah, exactly. Who's heated a thimble? Thimble up.
It was just, it was a weird, I'm like, no, dude. And it's just like the one on his body. And it was...
Yeah. I just cupped that very specific point of my calf.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way. That's weird. Gross. Ugh.
Weird.
No chance. Not here.
This is a fun one though. Anyway, no, that's what I'm saying. Dvorak. So he made his debut in that very first event with no crowd in Brasilia. He was
still now that must have been, when you think about it, that must have been so strange.
Especially because it was all like, that was the first time they were starting doing like the cycling the fighters out of the arena to keep the numbers down as well. Like they could only have 4 camps in the arena at one time, and all the arena was separated.
Where was
out.
this? In Brasilia?
Brasilia, yeah.
Okay.
So what they were doing, like the first two fights were hand wrapped and warmed up at the hotel and brought to the arena and kept backstage ready to be moved out to fight.
Again, it goes back to resilience. You know what I mean? You need to be in a position where you can just deal with that kind of shit when it happens.
Yeah. And he did. And you know,
I think he's
he
really
came
good,
backstage
man.
afterwards. He was buzzing, and he's got a wicked low calf kick as well.
Yeah,
like
solid.
He hacks that thing into the leg. Espinosa was having all kinds of issues with that, and Paiva's big on movement. You know, he's not particularly mobile, but he's big on covering distance to attack. Can be very aggressive, and that lead leg can get eaten up again by Dvorak. There's must be a reach advantage.
He's quite loose and fluid, isn't he, Paiva?
Yeah.
But my gut feel is he doesn't have the firepower Dvorak has.
No.
I think he's going to end up getting caught.
Oh, actually, Alian Paiva's 3 inches taller, but the reach is only an inch difference for him. So Dvorak, but Dvorak stands low as well.
He's got good resilience. You know, he lost to Kai Kara-France and Bontarin, and then came back to win 2 in a row. You know, that takes a lot off 2 losses to come back and.
It does, and two really good guys as well. You know, really good guys. Yeah. Oh, I remember the Bontarin one getting stopped on a cut. That was a big cut as well, though, wasn't it? Wasn't it across his back? I think it was quite a big cut. Yeah, but De La Rosa's a good fighter. You know, stopping him in the second round. And that Ismagulov fight was a lot of fun to watch. It could be quite a similar fight to that.
It could, maybe it's closer. Maybe it's closer than I think it is, but I think
it is.
Yeah,
I think it is. I think Dvorak's got. I think he's got better in and out movement, and that could be the difference, especially if he's chopping that lead leg of.
I love it when he says things I've got written down.
Is that what you got written down?
Like validate me. I'm like, I'm not stupid as.
Yeah, but then we make all the picks and they're all wrong.
Then I go on and make bad picks. Dvorak for me. Yeah, I think so.
I'm glad it's on the main card. Both of those guys could deserve a bit of attention. That might be a bit of a show stealer as well. That one.
Who does Norma Dumont look and fight like?
100%. It's Macy Barber.
Macy Barber.
It's so weird. Yeah. Well, I was watching her when you walked in earlier, and you were like, "Who does she fight like?" I'm like, "Oh, what's her name? I kept wanting to say Macy Chasson. Yeah, Macy Barber. It's like that kind of like there's a bit of a swagger to it, isn't there?
Yeah, like she drank 2 bottles of white wine before she got in there.
Yeah. Come on, motherfucker.
I don't think you've ever seen
that car park pump that she's got with her arm.
Car park pump. You know, it's seen like sometimes it gets loose. Like they're like posh Ascot races and stuff, and the girls get pissed and start fighting. It just reminds me of that.
Yeah, trying to pull their hats off.
Yeah.
A bit like Jake Paul and Mayweather. It was a bit of an Ascot fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was,
A lot of cameras around, a lot of phones.
Everyone watching it through their screen. Talking about that.
I'm going to get you talking about. What do you think about Dana blocking GSP and De La Hoya?
I think Dana's a megalomaniac, to be honest.
Would you want to see that fight? I'd want to see that fight.
Would I want to see that fight?
On a volleyball court filled with coke.
Yeah, right. Well, that might be interesting.
It'd be amazing. It'd be like a Looney Tunes
cartoon.
cartoon.
The table, then that's not going to go down very well.
You have to get Amy to fix it. Sorry, Amy.
I don't think I want to see Oscar De La Hoya in any form or shape ever again. Really, I
think a training camp would do him.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
but I think
he needs to focus.
Yeah, maybe it might help him out a little bit. But I've got good memories of Oscar De La Hoya as a savage boxer.
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's ruining it. Every time he opens his mouth, I'm just like, oh, you're ruining you.
And the other thing as well is like I can't like people are being lower. You can't shit talk him because he's on a mic making a fool out of himself because he's had too much blow. Like. You know what coke does.
Yeah, it's not like no one's forcing it up his nose either. Like, it's still your choice.
You know what coke does. It's like it's not a secret. Like like even the person that hands you the bag's like
it will make you feel good, but you won't be able to leave it alone.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Like you know what train you're getting on when you get on that train.
100%.
Difficult to have sympathy for people, especially you know what I mean. Like But what it might be reflective of is a coping mechanism. Like, you remember Frank Bruno, one of the best British boxers? Like, he really struggled with his retirement. Like, he had a marquee set up in the back garden and was sleeping in a ring and all kinds of stuff. Like,
I mean, you see it a lot.
Yeah.
You see it a lot, don't you?
Because your life just runs off a cliff.
All those eyes on you. We talked about in team sports for years, and there's becoming some very good structures around, even to the point of, I'd write your schedule for 50 weeks of the year. Like, I was writing your schedule. And then you wake up. To be honest, I'm going to get a little bit deeper here, mate. When I came out of professional sport and crossed over to full reptile, I was like, what the fuck do I do on a Monday? You know what I mean? Like, I have to be
kept
here.
showing up here.
I have to be like, here and here during the week. I know exactly what I have to do all day, every day.
We've already had breakfast. It's too late.
Yeah, maybe I was just coming around for food. But yeah, it's it's something that isn't addressed, and like. It's slightly different in individual sports, but I'm sure that Oscar De La Hoya had a fixed schedule that he knew he had to be at. He had to be here, here, and here for most of his life, and then it's not there, and then you got no structure, and then you got a bag of coke, and that's all the structure you've got.
Yeah.
Find my dealer, get my coke.
But to the point where it's more impressive when a fighter doesn't fall off a cliff at the end of their career. It's kind of.
But it shows like they're present enough to understand that my career is coming to an end. What am I going to do? Like, who are we talking about the other
Uriah
day?
Faber is
Uriah
the best
Faber.
example.
Exactly.
You boys been to his gym. You've done a piece on Alpha Male.
Exactly.
You know, like he had a few channels going. As as his career was going on at the same time, you've got to have a couple of plates spinning.
Yeah.
And like, some fighters are like, oh yeah, but I'm going to be champ. I've got to be focused on this 100%. Just like, yeah, but the anxiety that you get going into that world title fight, knowing that if you don't get it, or your number one contenders fight, like, imagine the pressure on Michael Chandler going into that one.
Yeah.
He must have been in the corner after the first round, like, watch this, boys.
Done it.
Right?
Done. Yeah.
And then he goes out there and, that old play of anxiety, I think, and it's like the same with having children. Like, it works really well for some fighters because, like, they get so much strength from it.
They have a reason, yeah.
For sure. But then on the flip side, fighters, they just all of a sudden panic and fall apart because they're like, now I'm doing this for this human I've created.
Oh shit, I've got to feed,
exactly.
Feed him.
Yeah.
And it relies on this.
It's amazing, and we've got so much variance in the psychology of the way we approach things.
Yeah, I'm all for all in, and I do believe you can be all in and have a backup plan and be working on your backup plan, because there's plenty of time in there. You can't. No one's training all day.
No,
nobody's training all day. And we used to say it to young players who come off the field after training, do the recovery, sit on the PlayStation like, this ain't gonna last forever, boys. The PlayStation.
Well, it might do these days. Anything. I mean, you know, you get a decent amount of people following your stream, and
well, yeah.
You could be an esports champ. Yeah. Probably pay more than Leicester Tigers.
It's funny, like the kids will say, "I want to be a YouTuber," and don't be so ridiculous. You'll be a millionaire in like 2 years if you do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got very sidetracked there.
We're talking about Macy Barber. We were talking about her looking like Macy Barber.
She's uncannily fights and moves like Macy, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And she has power like Macy has power.
Yeah.
And I think she might have too much power for Felicia because she's very awkward on her feet.
You reckon?
She's very. I watch Felicia and I do find her quite awkward on her feet, but she's been in there with some big punchers and took them to decisions. And if Amanda can't finish you and Cyborg can't finish you, then you're doing something. You're elusive enough to know how to protect yourself, aren't you?
Yeah.
And then obviously if she does put Norma on her back, she has some very, very savage jiu-jitsu and some high level grappling.
Yeah. That I feel is the point of difference in this fight, because I do feel like Felicia Spencer's tough enough to not get stopped quick. And I feel like she's going to be able to get through a barrage, even if she has to, and get her hands on Norma and get her to the floor.
Yeah.
And I do feel like she's going to look like a fish out of water when she hits the floor with Felicia Spencer.
Yeah. She's very, very good, isn't she?
Very strong.
She's so durable. Like I said, even though you lose, they're sort of win-losses, aren't they? Like win-losses, where you lose to Amanda and you lose to.
It's like an up-down.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's different to an up-down. That's far more fatiguing than doing up-downs.
What's a win-loss?
Well, do you know what I mean? You've lost, but there's some credit in that loss.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not just a complete shutout. And for Amanda and Cyborg to have to take her to a decision, there's something in that.
Yes.
You know? There's no win bonus.
No, it's an up-down.
Yeah,
it's a win-loss.
It's an up-down.
It's a left-right.
It's a down-up.
Yeah. It's a positive-negative, isn't it?
Yeah. Something like that.
You're making sure. Yeah. So which way are you going? Are you thinking that that Felicia's going to be too much for her then?
Well, yeah. I think she'll potentially weather I think Norma will come out and try and finish that fight. She'll be hyper aggressive. She'll go after her, and of course, when that happens, you know, she could catch her and she could win it that way. But my gut feel is, based off what we've already said, is Felicia is elusive enough to weather that combat, get her hands on her, potentially to put her on her back, and then, you know, she's got quite a few rear naked. She's got a savage rear naked choke game, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has.
Yeah. That's how I sort of see it going.
Yeah.
See any different?
No, not really. Not really. I think Felicia Spencer's, she can be a bit zombie on the way in, but she's got good counter punches. And she's got a taekwondo game as well. Yeah.
Sort of both hands out at the same time.
A little bit Hoist Gracie, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit...
and get clipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she might be a bit... I think Felicia's like... She's good enough to be in that top bracket. And I think what we're going to see is, as there's a riding tide of featherweights coming up in the women's division, I think she's going to be the filtration system.
Right.
I think she's tough enough and she's got good enough grappling.
Last level boss.
Yeah,
top
kind
five.
of. Yeah. Litmus test. Yeah, Mystery's learning words there. Fucking hell. Hey. Proud of you, mate. Well done. Litmus test.
There you go. Beautiful.
There we go. She's a semi-permeable membrane. This is a good fight, isn't it?
This
Anyone that's got Ra in their name, and they both end in A as well. They've got 1, 2, 3. They've got 5 A's between them in their last name. That's a lot of A's, isn't it? Justin Tafa against Jared Vanderaa.
So Justin trains out of NTG in Brisbane, which is the gym I trained out of I'm fighting. It should be in. If you don't fight, you're training in a gym. If you're fighting, you're training out of gym. Sorry, I'll rephrase that.
Okay.
It's the gym I trained at when I was living in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And he's run by quite a famous Thai boxing guy called Nuggets.
Right.
I can't remember his second name. He's so famous.
Is that the one that you took me into?
No. So they used to work together.
Well, that was an anticlimactic story. Wasn't it?
So they used to work together. They sort of ran the Thai scene in that area. That was Shannon King at Corporate Box.
Okay. Because I remember that was the place that had all the gloves on the railing outside, drying and out. Yeah.
First thing you were like, look at that, that's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I did some Thai boxing with Soren Montongkong.
Oh yeah,
out of there, and he's top, like really really nice, like Australian guy, but he had the demeanour of a Thai guy. Like he was like very quiet, and was like, no, that's rubbish, Ollie, don't do that. That's shit. But yeah, it's really cool. Really cool setup. I'll put a picture in actually of Nuggets gym, and it was like just a tin roof, open front, because I was Brisbane, so I think they pulled a piece of wood across. It was like anyone can get in here.
Love it.
Tin roof, yeah, it was very cool. I'll send Amy a picture, but yeah, they're a solid team. Good history there as well.
Nice.
Good history. They have 5-6 Thai guys come over, live next door to the gym, and just hold pads. Yeah, just hold pads.
That we're seeing that so much more now. Is like now people are really understanding and respecting Muay Thai and its value in all of the combat sports. I remember when I was training at TriStar a few years ago, and they'd brought in what's his name, Yod Willek, who was a Thai champion. Yeah. But, you know, like these guys have been Thai champions for 5 years and they're only 22 and they're retired. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're all banged up.
22. That's enough. Son.
Yeah.
Out you go.
Take him out and shoot him.
Yeah.
Make him into glue. You know what I mean? It's like, it's weird, but it's like the process of Muay Thai is, you know, as much. I don't mind it too much. I suppose you're taking a lot of the shots and kicks and punches when you're able to heal and bounce back.
And then spend the rest of your life taking the shots on your elbows and your forearms instead.
Batter your shoulder.
I mean, I think we know what we're going to get here, right?
Of course.
We know what we're going to. We know what we're going to get. It's like it's your heavyweight. It's your gunslinger archetype, but with a few more pounds on there.
Yeah, with
it's the big boys shooting it out. Yeah. The only key point of difference, I think, is Vanderaa has some wrestling, doesn't he?
Yes. And Justin Tafa doesn't have a lot of experience because he couldn't get many opponents.
No. I think you've touched on that before.
Yeah. That's problematic just because he's... I mean, you remember that fight against... What's his name? He ran onto that punch. De Castro.
Yeah.
Just sprinted at his counter right.
Yeah.
You know, they're the kind of things that you work out of your game in the early going, you know, or at least an amateur level now.
I mean, that fun fight with Carlos Felipe, didn't he, where they just basically stood in front of each other and just went, let's go. See what happens.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of power. Both Vandera's got some, you know, he's got some power. I thought he was disappointing against the polar bear, wasn't he? I think I actually picked him, I thought he'd be better than that. He's a big dude, man. I just feel like he could probably tie up Justin. Jared and Justin, he could probably tie up Justin, wear him out a little bit. And then, I feel like there's not going to be a massive takedown defence coming back from Tafa.
No. I mean, he's game, but he did slow down because he throws with such power and he doesn't always land. 6'4" as well, compared to 6 foot for Tafa, and a 6-inch reach advantage for Vanderaa as well.
Might smother him a bit.
He could be right out of range or too close in that Tafa can't breathe.
Yeah, he's got Tafa's got that Goldilocks zone where he can do some serious damage, but too close or too far away. Yeah. It's probably going to be a lot of fun. I mean, if Vanderaa doesn't,
don't curse it.
But if don't
do the heavyweight curse because I don't want to see 3 rounds of him banging heads. If
Vanderaa thinks that this is a man test and they're going to go in there and swing at each other and see who's the best striker, coin toss, and Tafa definitely has enough power to put him away probably with one shot, that would be a mistake on his part. He can not easily, but he has a very, very clear way of winning this fight. And if he's smart enough, he'll take the lowest risk, highest reward route. Which is definitely a couple of shots, double leg up against the fence, put him on his back and beat him up from there.
Yeah, even if he doesn't bother taking him down, he just holds him against the fence and beats him up. I think that'd be
wears him out.
Yeah.
I think that's an obvious pick, really, isn't it?
Cool. Okay, co-main event. Carla Esparza, Yan Xiaonan.
Right, I've got a question before we start. Yan Xiaonan is clearly a very, very good fighter. Why can't she finish any fights? Because of the level that she's fighting at and the girl she's fighting, or there's a lack of power there, but she's 6 decisions on the bounce. She, fighting some good people, but I just wondered why, if there's anything you could pick out of her where you thought she just doesn't have that pop, or she's just not one of those. She's not one of those fighters. She's a grind you down, win the fight type fighter. Well,
a couple of things. One is she's 115 pounds and doesn't cut a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And second of all, she's an end of range striker. Like if you watch the way that she fights, it's sting, kick. It's
peppier.
Everything's end of range. Like for this weight class, if you really want to be impactful, you need like an elbow game or something. Like you need to be able to put people in a position where you can smash them with shots. At the end of range, unless someone runs onto something, it's so rare to see knockouts.
There's just not enough weight in the person behind the punch.
That's it. It's just it's that power to weight ratio. You'll know more about it than I do. But there's a point where obviously, like we just talked about heavyweights.
Yeah.
They could probably knock each other out with each shot.
Yeah.
Any shot, as long as they land clean, and then these ladies could probably wail on each other for 15 minutes and get probably bruised up and cut, but probably not knocked out.
But still, like she's not getting ground and pound finishes. She's not necessarily subbing people. That's just not her. She's just a decision machine.
Yeah.
She'll beat you, but she won't finish you.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And she's beating good people as well. She
hasn't lost in 10 years.
No,
over 10 years.
Maybe that's why though, because she's not taking those risks to try and finish.
Yeah. And I mean, if you get rewarded for it, like she's being rewarded for it, why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you change?
And she's quietly climbing the rankings in the background. The Chinese champions just lost the belts. There's no national conflict going on there where, like if Zhang Weili doesn't win the belt back, you can see her jumping up and having a crack. Absolutely. I think she's skilled enough to beat Esparza. I'm interested to see how she deals with Esparza's wrestling, because that's the one point of difference is she could just drown her. Yeah, she could just drown her.
I thought it was tough to call. I wasn't really sure. Like Carla seems like she's on a second. She's got a second wind in her career a little bit, and she's having she's beat Rodriguez, who we've talked about a couple of times as being someone we believe is pretty good. She's beaten Waterson, she's beaten Grasso. That's 3 big names she's beaten. Well, let's say big names, but good solid opponents she's beaten.
Close though. I remember the Grasso one
close.
Being close, and that's another thing. She's not blasting people out the water either. Really.
No.
So the point of difference is who controls the range and the pace. Carla could take her down and drown her and beat up from top position, But at the same time, she could find herself on the outside being peppered, and it won't be nearly as violent as it was against Joanna if she can't take her down. But it could be equally as frustrating. Yeah. That lead side kick to the midsection is going to be a real problem for Carla, because she kind of stands hunched and quite square.
Right.
Like she's a kickback for that lead side kick.
Interesting.
She's coming off two split decisions and a majority decision.
Yeah. It's not convincing, is it?
It's not. So that means that in the last two fights, one of the judges in both of the fights scored against her, and the other one they scored it a draw. So like she's edging.
Yeah.
I think Yan Xiaonan's gonna be able to do this. I just think
in that method from the outside. Yeah.
Light her on her feet.
She seems sharp and light and moves really nice, isn't she?
She's not overcommitting to anything, so it's not really easy to take her down.
I guess that's a benefit of everything being right on the edge of that, at the end of that punch.
Yeah.
There's a very little risk of getting clinched and taken down.
And you know she's going to be conditioned.
Yeah, for sure.
You know she is. 13-1. She's in a good spot in her career. She makes a name off Carla Esparza, I think, here.
Cool. Who am I to argue?
Did you have it go the other way?
I'd put it's too tough to call. I'm not sure.
Did you?
Just agree with Dan.
Rob Font against Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah.
What you got written down?
Well, Cody should win this.
You reckon?
Yeah. I think he's lost 2 fights because of his ego being out of control.
Okay.
He absolutely got caught in an ego battle with TJ, and to the point, like 209 in that fight, and he just stood there and started wailing each other, which he didn't have to do, because I felt like he was good in that fight. He was moving, he's being elusive, he was making TJ miss, and he got caught in the come on then, and then he just got caught, and he got banged with the same shot 3 times over and got caught with a third one, right? And then Pedro Munoz, he got caught. He got drawn into a brawl with Pedro Munoz, which he doesn't have to get drawn into. And then he came off worse there as well, because he's a very elusive, awkward fighter, and he should just play that role. And I think he could be, he could feature. But if he does get drawn into that, I think it could be rough for him.
It was so weird to watch him go from the Dominic Cruz fight, where he's like body popping and doing push-ups, to then against TJ Dillashaw, he's like the devil on that other guy's shoulder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not the same guy. He's charged, he's fired up, he's got no control over that. And even though he's very dangerous and effective still like that, because he's not considered, he's not measured. And, like you said, 3 times now in a row, he paid for it. I felt like against a Sun Sao, he looked better. But, I mean, I think Rob Font's the kind of guy that could really piss him off. I think Rob Font, he hangs low, he's got his guard up high, so you feel like he's closer than he is, and you try and reach him, and he's whoop out the way.
He's got a disrespect trigger, isn't he? Like, if he feels like he's being disrespected, he just fucking loses his head, and then he's brawling. He's pub brawling.
But the problem is...
He's way better than that. He's way better than that.
If he fights Rob Font like he did Dominic Cruz, that's a different performance entirely. If he fights Rob Font like he did against Dillashaw, he'd probably get lit up. But it's literally...
Yeah.
It's
on Cody,
toss.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's on Cody. Yeah. I don't like, with all due respect to Rob Font, he's probably going to come and beat Rob Font, and it depends what Cody turns up will decide the fight.
Yeah. It's weird because you see this with fighters sometimes, don't you? I mean, Cowboy's a good one. He can be hot or cold. Vitor Belfort was the other one.
Yeah.
Pre or post USADA, or even psychologically, there was a state that Vitor was in when he was either absolutely lethal or just kind of not there,
nonchalant.
But the difference with Garbrandt is that even in his 2 modes, he's still lethal.
Yeah.
He's still really dangerous even when he's angry. He's just more vulnerable when he's angry. And I think that Rob Font's just got to lean into that. He's just got to lean into it. He's got to mug him off. He's got to piss him off. He's got to poke him. Play that psychological game. I mean, it's a big part of what the martial arts is all about. It's like harnessing that lack of control.
I seen you do it. I seen you poke the bear until he basically broke. And it's an offensive strategy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Offensive with a double meaning.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I rate the Cody that beat Dom is, he's right up there. He's one of the best in that division. But the Cody that loses his head is just another another 10 to 15er. You know, that's where he's going to sit if he can't harness that and stick to the plan. You know, there's just so many levels to performance, and it's great, like physically great, whatever, tactically great, technically great. But the psychological pillar is the pillar. You know, and again, there's so many different strains to discipline. Like, what's discipline? Well, discipline is being able to control that ego, be able to control those emotions, and still get the job done. And he hasn't. You know, I don't know where he's at. I don't know who's his coach.
He's at Alpha Male, isn't he?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, you got some footage of him now.
Yeah, but that's you know, that's mastery of discipline. It is when it's you know, you're faceless and emotionless, and GSP was pretty good at it, wasn't he? Yeah, he was pretty good at it.
Yeah, like if you could put a bit of that in Cody Garbrandt, just to balance him out a bit. Yeah, he'd be very, very effective. He is very, very effective. You know, you can't take that away from him. But there's that clear chink in his armour that you can just kind of prod and poke and get him to.
Probably stops him from being champ or close.
Yeah,
pretty close.
I saw it against Dominic Cruz.
Amazing.
That's the thing. That's the thing that fries my brain. Is like, but you attain that level there. Now get that back.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, that state. Find the state again.
Yeah. Like, was he there against a Sunset? I don't think so. Kind of felt like he was chasing him down when he knocked him out a little bit. Like with Cruz, he was just mugged him off all the time. If you can do that to Rob, if you can have a faceless opponent every time he fights, whereas now the problem is he puts TJ Dillashaw's face on everyone he fights, and he goes the opposite way. You know, it's like listening to death metal on your walkout. Like Pantera sounds like a good idea on your walkout. It's absolutely not.
No,
because your heart rate's at 160 while they're going. And now fighting out of the blue corner, you're like, just hurry up. You know, I've got 4 minutes of cardio. Go.
Don't fight angry. It's exhausting.
No,
exhausting.
No. Plus, you know, then you're throwing punches with venom, and you're not accurately landing. So you're missing, or you're scuffing, or you're landing on hands, and you're getting tired.
Yeah, I would very, very much like to see that Cody come out. Very much so. I rate him. I want him to be that guy, and I think he's good for the division.
Yeah. That Cody against Rob Font when he's on his game is absolute lightning. It's a really interesting fight, and two guys that could quite easily be contending for the belt.
Yeah, I agree.
Quite easily.
Rightio. Yeah, good card.
So which way did you go?
I don't know now. Let's think. Yeah, let's think the best of Cody.
Oh, okay.
And hope the martial artist comes through.
Neck tattoos for the win.
Yeah, maybe. Not a massive fan, are you?
I don't mind them. They just make your neck look really long.
Yeah.
I want the sides doing.
Yeah?
But the front part just makes your neck look really long.
Yeah. I'm not getting my neck tattooed.
You've not got much of a neck, have you?
Well, no, not. I was going to give you some shit then I remembered how many times I've injured it in the last 6 weeks, and I was like, no, you're right. The pencil neck is...
Because you're training with those monsters at the gym, I told you.
Too young.
Yeah.
Young motherfucker.
We need a veterans mat at the gym.
Young or unbelievably good in the shape of Warlord.
Yeah.
Either one is not working out very well. Horrible.
Rough
There
ass.
we go. The rough ass monsters.
All right.
All done.
Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.
Yo.